everybody, this is Julie Bean. I want to show you how to make a gemstone dangle earring. This is a design that I've been seeing a lot lately. It's a very on-trend design for summer, and you see it in a lot of boutiques. I want to show you how to make it. So if you've seen my other videos before, I usually have a sample already done up to show you what we're going to do, but in this case I wanted to show you the strand of gemstones before I cut it. So I didn't want to make up a sample ahead of time. So what's great is when you buy a strand of gemstones over at Bita Halik, and this one in particular is by Dakota Stones, you get quite a few of them, and you're going to be able to make multiple pairs of earrings or a necklace or whatever you want with this strand. So it's really going to stretch. It's going to go quite a long ways. So you'll need a strand of gemstones. In this one, I'm using a Aqua Impression Jasper, and this is a 4mm size, but there's lots of ones to choose from as well. So I've got that, and you're going to need some wire. I'm using artistic wire, 24 gauge, and I'm going to do a pretty silver color here. I've got a couple little earring hooks, so you can pick what earring hooks you like, and I've got a little head pin here. I'm going to have my basic tools I use for basically every jewelry making project. I've got a pair of cutters, wire looping pliers, and 2 pairs of chain nose pliers. And that's it. And we're going to be able to make a pair of earrings out of just this. I cleared my tools away, so we have a little bit of a clearer area to see what we're doing here. So I'm going to start by cutting my strand. To cut your strand, you just need your cutters. You see that there's a little, I don't know what this is. It's a little cotton, probably thread going through them. And we're just going to cut that knot off. There's a little knot at the end. We're just going to cut it off, and then our beads are going to fall down. So I'm going to do an earring that's probably 5 or 6 beads long, so we don't need that many off of there. And then we're going to also need our wire. This is a new spool, so I'm just going to be opening it for the very first time. And I'm going to take off of here probably about 15 inches or so. And then I'm just going to latch the wire into the little groove again. So that's nice because it keeps it solid and it doesn't unwind. So that's how we're going to be starting with this project. And now we're going to make our individual little links to create our dangle. We're going to start to make our wrappings now. So we're going to take our wire and we are going to cut a 3-inch section off of it. Doesn't have to be exact. You don't really need a ruler for this. Just somewhere in the 3-inch range. And what you're going to do now is you're going to take your wire looping pliers and you are going to go down about 1.5 inches. So almost to the midway point, but not quite. And you're going to go ahead and pinch, push your wire over, rotate your pliers up top so you crisscross. And now you've made a nice little loop. So now you're going to grab that loop with your chain nose and you're going to just use your fingers to do a couple wraps. Now, what you can do is you can use a pair of chain nose pliers if you find this difficult to wrap, but it should be pretty easy because it's thin wire. And now you just are going to trim your tail. Try to catch the end so it doesn't fly across the room. And you're just going to pinch that little rough wire end into your wrappings. Now you're going to go over on the other side and you're going to put a bead on there and just slide it down. So it's going to stop against your wrappings. And now you're going to make a wrapped wire loop on the other side. So you're going to grab your wire, not exactly where it comes out of the bead. You want a slight gap right there. And you are going to pinch, push down, rotate, crisscross, and then you're going to do your wrappings. And you're just going to go around and around a couple times. Some people like to do 2, some people like to do 3. It's really whatever you like, but you basically want to have a nice secure wrapped wire loop. And the wrappings are a nice decorative element. And then you always pinch that little end in. So now we've got one really nice looking little link with the wire wrappings. So now we're gonna make a second one, but we're gonna start it the same way, but we're gonna end it a little bit differently because we're gonna be building a chain here of gemstones. So grab another 3-inch bit of wire. And you're going to start it the exact same way. So we're going to go ahead, pinch, rotate up, crisscross, have a little loop, do some wrappings, and then trim your tail and pinch that wire end in. Now you're gonna put on another bead. So far we're doing the same thing we just did for our first one. So now have that little bead come down. And now this is where it starts to change a little bit. So go ahead and begin to make your loop. So again, we have a little bit of a gap right there. You're gonna pinch, push down, crisscross. Okay, so now we have that loop, but we're not going to be doing our wrappings just yet. So now you want to take that loop and you want to open it ever so slightly. So you're just going to take your pliers and pull it up a little bit. So there's a little gap. Now you're going to take your existing link that you already made, slide it on there. So it's connected in there. Now you're going to go back with your chain nose pliers, close that loop back up, and now you're going to hold that loop and you're going to do your wrappings. Okay, so once you've done your wrappings on this one, you are going to trim your tail and push it in. All right, so now we have two connected together. And now we've got the start of a gemstone chain earring. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep doing it following the same method you did for the second one until you have it as long as you want it. So I'm gonna do a few off camera here because it's the same step over. If you need to rewind that last step, you definitely can. And then I'm going to show you how to add a little dangle at the bottom and how to attach this to your earring hook to complete your earring. Okay, I did a few more off camera, not that many. You can make this as long or as short as you like, but I've got 4 already connected. Now I want to add a 5th one, but I want to do it as a dangle at the bottom. So to do that, you're going to need a head pin. So I have a little head pin here. So I'm just going to take one of my beads and I'm just going to place it onto the head pin. So that head pin stops the bead from falling off. And now we're going to create a wrapped wire loop with this. So same basic principle that you were doing all along. You're just going to go ahead, push that down, crisscross. And for this one, we definitely want to attach it again before we do our wrappings. So same process. And it could be either side because both of these have nice completed wrapped wire loops. Just going to string that on and pinch this back in place. And I don't want to be pinching the other loop. So I want to make sure that when I'm doing this, I'm holding just the loop that I'm working on. And then we'll do some wrappings. There we go. After you've done that, you trim your tail. And you're going to tuck your end again. And now all we have to do is complete our earring by adding the earring hook. Super easy to do. You just have your little earring hook. There's a little loop on the bottom of it. You pull it apart so it's got a little bit of a gap and a little opening. And you attach the loop that you made for your very first bead onto it. And then you close your loop back up. And now we have a really pretty, very on-trend gemstone chain earring that we made quite quickly and easily, and we didn't use that many ingredients. So you'll just need earring hooks, some wire, some head pins, and a strand of gemstone beads. And if we go back to our original strand here, you have so many beads left. So you'll make its matched pair. So we'll just take 5 more gemstones to do that. So you'll have 5 gemstones right there. And then you've got all of these guys left to make more earrings. So quick, fun, easy project and a nice little boutique look. Thanks everybody for watching. If you liked it, please do subscribe and also go check out beadholic.com where you can buy all these supplies.